This is not a red magic marker. It is in fact a really nice cigar, which looks fantastic in this scene. It adds character, it adds story, but has none of the health risks. And I'm going to show you how to replace it in post-processing using AI. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Rob. Rob's going to be the model for this photo session. And why am I using a red magic marker? Well, for simple reasons. When you're watching the video, this should be clearly not a cigar. Now, you do not need to do this with a red marker pen. In fact, anything that is roughly the right size will work. And the reason it needs to be the right size is because Rob is going to interact with it. That's going to make the whole thing much more realistic. It might make it a bit more challenging to replace in Photoshop, but we'll get to that in a little bit. When it comes to telling a story, it's all about the props, the styling, the model, but it all starts with the lighting, and that's where I'm going to begin as well. Now, if you want to jump ahead to watch the Photoshop bit, use the timestamps along the bottom. So let me walk you through the lighting, and I'm going to start with this one. This is the key light. It illuminates Rob's face, and it is a Flashpoint Evolve 200 Pro Mark II. It is in a strip box, 12 by 36 inch, but really it's the grid that's going to help me here. This puts light on the side of Rob, but with the grid it stops the light from falling onto the background, which means I can illuminate it with these two lights. Now, these two were supposed to be the same light, but I've only got one of these. This is the Flashpoint Explore 100 Pro. So this is the next nearest thing I've got, which is the Flashpoint Zoom X Pro. The reason I wanted two is because I've got these magnetic attachments which go straight onto them, which is super handy. And I've also got some orange gels back here. Now, these are going to do two things. They will light the background with a bit of a warmish tone to simulate some warm tone lighting in a room, but also put a little bit of edge lighting around Rob as well, again, to help separate him from the background. But they'll do a third job, and I'll get to that in just a second. Because there is one more light in the scene, and it's right at the back, right behind my camera. It is this one here, which is just a small speed light. This one's job is the smallest of the four, but it's the most important light. It is designed to put a tiny catch light in Rob's eyes and pretty much nothing more than that. And of course, you can find out more information about all of the kit I'm using by following the links in the video description. They'll take you back to Adorama, but there's one little ingredient that's really going to make this work. And you've got to think about the prop. The star for this, sorry Rob, isn't you, it is the cigar, or the red pen. And if there's a cigar in the scene, well, there's going to be smoke, the very thing we were trying to avoid with a real cigar, but we need to add that in. And I'm gonna add it in real time using a smoke machine. So I've got a smoke machine that can do a couple of different effects. I can, for example, put a little bit of smoke in the ashtray to simulate the effect of having a cigar there. And of course, I can have smoke wafting around in the back to create the illusion that Rob has been smoking quite a lot of cigars during this photo session. So that's the basic setup. Rob, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's take a few photos like this. I'll just add a bit more smoke first. The smoke from the Smoke Ninja Pro doesn't have the health risks of the smoke from a real cigar, but it does have some of the same properties of the smoke. In other words, once it's in the room, it really isn't going anywhere, and pretty quickly your room will fill up with smoke. Having my key light coming in from the side helps to alleviate some of the problem of low contrast from a smoke-filled room, which is another reason why it is positioned against the wall. Of course, the smoky is bringing a lot of character to this scene, but you've really got to give it to Rob, who is making this whole look come alive. I've come away with loads of great pictures from the photo session, but this is the one I'm going to edit, and it is pretty much straight out of camera. A little bit of a tweak to the color and the contrast. Obviously, we've got to change the pen, so let's do that. I'm going to zoom in a bit over here so we can see what we've got. And the easiest way, I guess, to do this would be just to make a rectangular selection over the pen, something like this. That's going to bring up this little contextual box. If you can't see that, right-click outside the picture and turn on the contextual taskbar. And then in here, in Generative Fill, I'm just going to type the word cigar. I mean, how hard can it be, right? Let's click on the Generate button and let it do its thing. It will take a moment or two, so I'm going to jump forward through time to allow it to catch up with us. And yeah, at first sight it's okay, but it's not exactly great. This seems to be a cigar lit at two ends with some very strange fingers on Rob. I spoke too soon. Right end, really weird fingers, and everything you've ever heard about AI would appear to be true. However, it's not that simple. AI isn't the ultimate easy fix. You do have to do a bit of work, so let me show you how to do it better. And the first thing I'm going to do differently is go to select and all, so the whole picture is selected, and then in the generative field prompt, I'm going to type in a much longer prompt that has information that's more useful. Then I'm going to change the type of generative AI because there are different models to choose from. The default Firefly is Adobe's that we were using. I'm going to switch to Gemini 3 with Nano Banana Pro, which at the time of recording is the best one of the bunch, and then just hit generate again. As this is going to take a minute or two to generate, it's worth noting that the Nano Banana Pro version of the AI I'm using uses more of your Adobe AI credits than the Firefly version, and you only get one variation. So if you don't like it, you'll need to run it again using more credits. And there you go, I have a much better looking cigar, complete with smoke glowing tip at the right end, and just as I asked for, Rob's fingers are, well, pretty much exactly how they were before. Is it perfect? No, it's close, but I want to do a bit more work. And if you were hoping that AI would somehow be a magic one-click fix for your photography, that's not how AI works. It's still very much down to you as the photographer to make the whole thing come together. Just to be 100% clear, I could totally do exactly the same thing, change that pen into a cigar in Photoshop without touching AI whatsoever. Old school Photoshop will work just fine, but blimey, AI is so much quicker at the same results. And for that, it makes it an easy win for me. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, why not go down to the bottom, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and of course, remember to click on that subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.